Something's wrong here. Something is feeding on us. You can feel it, that something's happening. Your human instincts, your intuition, you can feel it all around you and in life. Reality and a dream. How to win the game of life and escape the prison planet Earth, which is a matrix illusion that we dream. It's worth exploring and talking about. These entities, Archons, demiurge, demons, devils, whatever you want to call them, feed on human fear.
If there's a God, then why does everything die, break down, disease, creatures eat each other just to survive, and the whole problem of evil? I mean, why are we programmed to sleep? Why are we programmed to sleep? At every level, the world feels concrete. When we are in a dream, we accept it as reality. It's only when we wake up that we realize something was strange. Earth is a farm system where everything breaks down and dies, and where the creatures are forced to eat and feed off each other just to survive in the food chain. Earth is a dog-eat-dog world where survival of the fittest rules. There are predator-prey relationships and also parasitic ones where leeches feed off their hosts. There are both beneficial and unfriendly bacteria and viruses in our body cells. As humans, we like to believe we're at the top of the food chain, but like cattle who are oblivious to their slaughter by the farmer until the very end, could similarly be clueless to invisible entities who feed off our energy and capture our souls when we die. Human beings were placed on this plant in the Garden of Eden. Are we people or a pea pole? Peas or beans and do grow on a pea pole in pods. It's very interesting that so many of the latest sci-fi programs depict humans in pods living a simulated life, and of course there are game pods, iPods, and podcasts. As kids, we are said to be raised much like crops are. Semen is often referred to as seed, and if someone is our ancestor, they are said to be from our seed. So why are we called a human? Hu was an Egyptian stellar god, a sense of taste, and divine food on which gods and mortals feed. And he appears at the creation in the boat of the sun. Later he appears at the judgment of the dead. So we were placed on this planet Earth in a secret garden by a constant gardener. And of course we're all familiar with the grim reaper who is said to come harvest your soul at death. These entities feed off our auric field from an overtone away from our wavelength. The theme of entities feeding off our energy or life force is pretty prevalent even in today's society. When someone sneezes, you feel customarily obligated to say bless you. But if you sound out the syllables, does your subconscious mind also make the connection to the phrase be less you? So the very act of blessing someone could also subconsciously be telling them to be less. I found out all major religions were given to us by princes from the elite royal families. In Hinduism, the teachings of Hinduism are largely based upon Lord Krishna, who was a prince, the eighth son born to the princess Devaki. Krishna married Rukmini, the Vidarbha princess, in the epic holy writing the Bhagavad Gita. Buddhism was given to us by Gautama Buddha, who was born in a royal Hindu Kshatriya family. According to the most traditional biography, the Buddha's father was King Suddhodana, his mother Queen Mahamaya, and Suddhodana's wife was a Kaliyan princess. Siddhartha is then said to have spent 29 years as a prince and had 3 palaces. He taught that suffering was part of life and that one should suppress desires. He outlined what is the right way to think and behave. And in Judaism was given to us by Moses, their most important prophet, books of the Old Testament, the Torah. According to Exodus 2, Moses was conveniently said to have been found in a reed basket in the Nile River by the princess daughter of the Pharaoh, an adopted royal family, and raised in the court of Pharaoh. So Moses was treated as an Egyptian prince. In Christianity, Jesus was said to be in the line of King David. It's called King of Jews and King of Kings, and the sword. We can also see how much power the royal family creation. Christianity, and the fact that Emperor Constantine, a murderer, officially made it the state religion. Also, King James commissioned the translation of the King James Bible. There are even two books in the Old Testament named Kings 1 and Kings 2, and got characters as King Solomon and King David. And so as you see, Christianity in the Bible was very much rooted in politics. In fact, councils were held to decide which books to include and control the masses. The elite wish to keep all the gold and power they have, so they teach us to turn the other cheek, and that the meek shall inherit the earth. They use fear to threaten an eternal hell if we don't behave, and promise us heaven or a better life after we die as reward for our good behavior. Reincarnation is a reincarceration in the wheel of rebirth or being recycled. Of course, in reincarnation, we don't remember our past experiences, so we don't remember the lessons. In the beginning, during the infancy of Christianity, there was said to be secret teachings of Christ. These teachings are radically different than what the world now knows as Christianity. This way did not require churches. It did not require spiritual middlemen such as priests. This way did not have laws. This way required trying to perfect yourself through righteousness and knowledge. The teachings say the answers and truths to everything can only be found within yourself. These teachings became very alarming to the early Orthodox Church, as it was directly opposed to the position of power the Church was after. These teachings would inspire many Gnostic Christian sects within this early time period as it was increasing in popularity. The Orthodox Church declared them all heretics. Any books or texts they had were considered heretical and were to be burned or they risked death. What some consider God is not God at all. That is, a creator God who was created in air, enslaved the world through deception, is referred to as the demiurge. The word government, to govern is to rule or control, and ment is of the mind or mental, thus the word government means mind control. You attacked the body, you have heard the word and disobeyed, you will be absorbed. It is clear that you simply did not understand. I will rephrase. You are ordered to accompany us to the absorption chambers. He says, are you all right? And Spock says, this is a soulless society, Captain. It's indeed peace and tranquility. It has no spirit, no spark. I jumped up, turned around, spit in the air, fell on the ground, and asked him which was the way back home. He said, take a right at the light, keep going, Cap, and between his ears I saw a gap and figured he'd be all right. He was blinded by the light, cut loose like a deuce, another runner in the night, blinded by the light. Momma always told me not to look into the sights of the sun. I was blinded. I unsnapped the skullcap, walks at snail. I unsnapped the skullcap, walks at snail. Walks at snail. Ripped up like a deuce, another runner in the night, blinded by the light. Some brimstone, baritone, anti-cyclone, rolling stone preacher from the east. He says, dethrone the dictaphone, hit it in its funny bone, that's where they expect at least. Some new moon chaperone standing in the corner all alone, watching the young girls dance, and some fresh sown moonstone was messing with his frozen zone to remind him of the feeling of romance. A little early Pearly came by in her curly whirly and asked me if I needed a ride. I jumped up, turned around, spit in the air, fell on the ground, and asked him which was the way back home. He said, take a right at the light, keep going straight until night, and then you're on your own. He said, take a right at the light, keep going straight until night, and then you're on your own. Now in Zanzibar, a shooting star was riding in a sidecar humming a lunar tune. Yes, and the avatar said blow the bar, but first remove the cookie jar. We're going to teach these boys to laugh too soon. And some kidnapped handicap was complaining he caught the clap from some mousetrap he bought last night. I unsnapped the skullcap, and between his ears I saw a gap and figured he'd be all right. Mama always told me not to look into the sights of the sun, but oh Mama, that's where the fun is. I was blinded. There walks a lady we all know who shines white light and wants to show how everything still turns to gold. And if you listen very hard, the tune will come to you at last. When all is one and one is all, you had to be a rock and not to roll. And I just remember that Robert Plant basically channeled this song. Like he had his automatic writing, right? Okay. And then Hotel California, or away, I heard the mission bell, and I was thinking to myself, this could be heaven or this could be hell. Then she lit up a candle and she showed me the way. We were all just prisoners here of our own device, and in the master's chambers they gathered for the feast. They stab it with their stealing eyes, but they just can't kill the beast. peace. Last thing I remember, I was running for the door. I had to find the passage back to the place I was before. Relax, said the night man. We are programmed to receive. You can check out any time you like, but you can never leave. So both songs mention a traveler on the road who's accosted by a lady shining white light who wants to show the way, or a piper or voices calling you to join them in what could be heaven or hell. So this idea of a piper ties into the section that I call the trickster god. And you have the Egyptian god Ptah, was considered the father or creator of the world, and like as the world turns, right? And so either there's a script that is unfolding, or we are co-creators in a reality TV show like the True Man Show. We're like sleuths or detectives who have to figure out the mystery of life. And once we solve the riddle and exit or escape or wake up, we realize then the game is over. We all laugh about it and say, oh, that was a good one. The only way I can rationalize it is to say it's an illusion or dream, a holographic computer simulated virtual reality game.